But that we admit when we wrong, nigga, that ain't a bad thing. That is a good thing. That we be like, yo, okay, I got new information. Yeah, nigga, we science. We science. You give us new information, we have new results.
I'm officially, the pod has already started. I had to clap to line up the audio. Y'all know how that go. It's a certain, I know 3 men with the same last name. The father is a very, very solid dude.
Hey, do not say our last name. I do not feel like getting doxxed yet.
See, I already told you. I know 3 men with the same last name. I picked up what you put down, man.
I got to get ahead of you sometime, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes Mike saved me from myself, but I will not digress. I know 3 men with the same last name. The pops is cool, kind of quiet.
He is not quiet.
Really got like killer vibes to him. Like I could see him like sniping you out because he just chill.
I wouldn't ask.
I got the youngest brother who I don't know if I'm still as close to him as Mike, but you know that's my boy.
Y'all best friends, man.
Yeah, Ez cuts me out religiously. Ez always said something when we started off becoming friends. He said, "Yo." I said this plenty of times on the pod. My brother sat me down when I was young and said, you cannot make the same mistakes I made. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever because I'm like, dang, I ain't got no older brother. Nobody told me that. So you know what? But that's dope. I realized that Mike and Ed suffer from the same thing. When I'm right, when I got some information right, they try to downplay it.
We do not try to downplay it. Dude, you are sometimes a little bit of a bird feeder. So we have to kind of smize what you say sometime and then like, all right, let's go get the evidence.
I told my homegirl yesterday that you called me a bird sympathizer and she was like, no way. Mind you, she has nothing but a bunch of birds around her and I respect her and those birds because they fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't have a problem with birds. We just got to, a bird's a bird, right?
Yeah, we got a real Gavin in. Here's why Mike and me disagree. Hold on. Let's start.
Shut up, bro. Shut up talking that shit. Bro, you not finna, you sound dumb. You ain't finna talk that shit in my car. You take care of them. My kids, I would too. I would. You know why? Because you was my You don't want to take care of your kids. Here, you a bum, dog. You a bum ass, bro. You a bum ass. You just like the rest of these bum ass. You just like these bitter ass, sensitive ass, busty bro. Don't give a bro. Like, I don't got no respect for you no more. I have zero respect for you no more, bro. Oh, my mama, because you can get the out of my car. You gonna stop me out? Bro, you can get the out of my car. Yeah, you gotta get out.
You gonna take care of your kids?
Okay, but see, that's not all. Hold on.
Because I ain't finna go through no shit over no mother. Look, let me tell you something. I say this on air. I don't give a fuck if I got a baby with you, bitch. If you a problem, fuck you and that baby. I'll make another one. That's who the fuck I am.
And they do too. There be a lot.
If you down with me,
other babies out there.
And you show me respect, and I feel like you ain't no cutthroat, bitch.
That's crazy.
Bitch, I will die for you if you got mine.
But if you don't, fuck you and the kid. Now look, I think last week we talked about men don't know shitty men, and this is a symptom. This is a symptom of myself because I don't know dudes like these first 2 dudes. But apologies, because evidently men out here like this exist. So look,
facts.
This is the Black Dads pod. We talk about, we big up all the black men that actually are handling their business, and these men out here, like this, the second dude is actually a very, very well-known popular comedian. And I never imagined that he'd be the type of dude to be like, yo, if you stop fucking with me, I'm not taking care of the kids, for one. The first dude, you could almost sympathize with him. We skipped to like halfway through that video. Yeah.
But we saved y'all.
Yeah, but he was basically saying that like his girl cheated on him and moved the dude in that she cheated with. And now he don't want anything to do with the kids.
You knew what type of woman she was before.
Yeah, dude. You knew what type of woman she was. Bruh, if you bring a child into this world, you are responsible for that child. This is your job as a human. You literally have one freaking job as a human being, is to take care of little humans and try to grow them up that they become well-sustained little humans, right?
Absolutely.
Y'all know we go in on this pod about, anybody says that the inconsistent dad is not a good dad, and it's bullshit. It's cap. That's that man's child. If you didn't, feel that he was inconsistent when you was letting him bang baby
go.
batter on your cervix during your ovulation window, then you can't be like, yo, he's inconsistent now. So y'all know we go in about that. But for y'all dudes that when a woman leaves you alone or she's had enough of your shit, God, I sound like these goddamn pussy pounders now. When she's had enough of your shit and then she decides to leave and you're just gonna be like, yo, I ain't taking care of my kid at all. All right, for one, red flag, because I guarantee you this man has no friends. Because you saw the first dude kicked him out, right?
Oh, he pulled the car over.
I bet you. And the second thing with the comedian, I guarantee you he lost friends over there. I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, listen to that. There's no way that solid dudes, will allow that to happen. I have a friend that, like, her husband is in a fraternity. And one of the bros, like, wasn't taking care of his kid because evidently he's one of these sensitive ass dudes. Dude, he don't even like he was never invited to any of the functions. Like he was frat in name only. They excommunicated. Like the fellas had came together at times to like help the little girl. Dudes do not fuck with shitty dudes. With that said, if you actually have a shitty dude,
oh gosh,
apologies from me because if you have a baby by a dude that because you broke up with him, or even if you fucked him over, he don't want anything to do with the kid. That's not how men move.
That's not. So for those who do not know, a couple weeks ago, me and Mike was off air in our esteemed group chat. I do want to let everybody know in our group chat, when me and Mike make it, we will be moving to WhatsApp. Y'all will not let that group get hacked. And I'm going to change my number, so I have deniability.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but in there, I told Mike, I said, there's this whole thing of no dad versus an inconsistent dad, and that choice that women have to make.
Yeah.
And I stand in the middle of it where I don't believe you should cut a man off, but I also believe that, and I think most of everybody agree with, you shouldn't cut a man off, but men should not be inconsistent, as like what we are saying here.
Yeah, they shouldn't. It shouldn't be inconsistent.
You shouldn't be inconsistent. You shouldn't, and you shouldn't be. Some of that inconsistency is like, yo, y'all mad, she cheated on me, she did whatever, I'm out. Or as far as the comedian said, yo, I'm out. Like, I can make another baby. F you, F that kid, I can go make another.
You have a responsibility to your seed, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, period, point blank. Like, if this has to be a fundamental thing that men understand and get, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, then just don't have a child.
Absolutely.
It's too, I don't want to say it's too easy to not have a child, knock on wood, something crazy that happens.
Yeah.
In the next 6 months or some shit.
Same to me. We're trying to hold off.
But it's like, but definitely understand that as a man, you see the womb, you have responsibility. The adult thing is, it doesn't matter if you and that individual get along. Like, dude, I even share a little story. Like, me and my son's mother not together. We get along the majority of the time, but the times we don't get along, we kind of just be like, like we both like, man, fuck the other one, right? We still co-parent during those time frames, right? And we still try to make sure that our son isn't aware of how much we're not getting along during those time frames. Now, my son, he was on Netflix. He has his own little, account on Netflix so he can watch kid stuff. And he wanted to change his like icon or whatever. So he goes in, he changes. He looks over at like my Netflix account. He's like, Dad, why is it your name there? Like, my name was just a user. Never changed it. Right? Yeah. So he's like, I said, son, it's not a big deal. I was like, you can go change it though. You can go change my icon. You can go put my name in, right? So he goes and like changes my icon. So I go to bed one night and I was like, oh, I'm watching Netflix. So I go to sleep. I turn on Netflix, turn on the account, right? He has my account right there, right? Dad, right? He has his account in the middle, his name. And then he's put his mom account on there, right? His mom does not even come over to watch Netflix, right? But he's created an account for his mom and he's named it Mom, right? And it sort of made me sad because I'm like, guess what he wants?
A family.
He wants
like that unity.
He wants that family unit. I'm not providing it. We can't provide it. Like, we've tried. It's just it can't happen. At some point, he and I will have to have the conversation. But these children love their parents, man. They love their moms. They love their dads. When they're with their mom, I promise you, fellas, when your kids are with their moms, only thing your kids are saying is, I want my daddy. Yeah. Right? And then when they come over there to you, and they're upset, what are they saying to you, right?
When can I go home?
I want my mama, right? And you feeling like shit because you're like, damn, my child doesn't like me, bro. I promise you, no matter where that child at, they're gonna say they want the other parent because they want both parents to be in the home, because when one parent makes them upset, they're gonna go run to the other parent.
Absolutely.
Like, mom, dad done pissed me off. I want to come sit on your lap. Dad, mom done pissed me off. I want to sit on your lap.
Bruh, my yo, first of all, I want to welcome everybody to the Black Dads Club. Look, we are all here to be better men. Let's get that out the way.
Yeah. This is a black male podcast where we like, yo, we gotta build ourselves up.
Absolutely.
And I shoot black men bail all the time.
Absolutely. Look, he does.
Y'all free.
You
free.
Look, absolutely, man. And it's it's funny because yesterday, so Halloween was earlier this week. My son, some reason is running a fever the next day. So they sent him home from daycare. He has to spend the whole day with me the following day, right? And it was so funny because by the time his mom walked in the door, bro was so over me that he really didn't want to be around me for the rest of the night, right? His mom is in the kitchen cooking. I'm in the living room playing Call of Duty, trying to get somebody to play me online, right? And I'm like, bro, I'm here. You can come play with me. You can, we got him a little controller that don't work. He didn't figure it out that it don't work. But it was just funny. He just sat right there at the baby gate and just said mama the whole time. Like I wasn't there. Like we ain't spend the whole day together. So it is super funny there. I want to welcome everybody. I think this is episode 19. I don't know anymore.
I don't know. Should we like label the episodes in the hundreds, or do we need to should we keep breaking it up in the seasons?
I don't know.
I don't want to do that. What do y'all want? Do y'all like when it's like hundreds and be like, oh, this pod's been around forever? Or should we do the season?
Look, y'all let me know. Y'all let us know in the comments. We got an interesting topic today about marriage, right? And well, we got a video that I want to share. But before we get there, let's start here. We wake up. It had to be what, Tuesday? Or was it Monday? When was Halloween? Halloween was Sunday. We wake up Monday.
Halloween was Monday.
For those who've been
Tuesday,
around,
that was Tuesday.
So people that's been around long enough know that 2 seasons ago, the intro of our podcast was Stir Fry.
Yep.
By Migos.
Yep.
Something that Mike loved. He had a particular part of the song that we had to get to. You know what I'm saying? Never got flagged because Mike wanted to make sure we stayed under a certain.
You got to stay under 18 seconds.
Look, and it was super dope, but it was something that our podcast started off with, and we our thing was we always wanted to talk about relationships, money, sports, and whatever else. Yep. It was a stir fry pod.
Stir fry.
We wake up to the news, and the first thing that came up, my sister texted me and was like, they took Takeoff. And I really didn't know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
And then as I got online, honestly, I went to Baller Alert, didn't see nothing. So I was like, all right. I should have just went to Shade Room because they more ratchet. They'll post anything. Don't give a damn. And then I looked up and went on Twitter and I just saw RIP Takeoff. And since then, I was actually glad we didn't have to record that day.
Yeah.
Simply because more information has come out. I was listening to a ton of pods that was recording that actual day. And, they were emotional. Some of them was just like giving out information that we've 24 hours later found out wasn't true and stuff like that. But, bro, the biggest thing that hit me with this whole situation with Takeoff, being at a bowling alley at some type of event where he felt safe, the biggest thing that I've realized, my generation, and Takeoff is at the end of that, you know what I'm saying? He's right at that cusp, right? He's 28 years old. Yeah. And in the kids that's younger than him, they are now growing, bro, to have no sense of what death really means.
Well, it's been sensationalized even to an extent. And
absolutely.
If you think about death, so you think about heavy metal music during the early 90s, late 80s, y'all might be too young to remember this.
Absolutely.
But it was this idea that, it was the sensationalizing of death, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they saw suicides rates start to increase. So they pushed back against this type of music. Mm-hmm. So it almost went underground, to a certain extent. You don't really hear that type of metal anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think we have to do something very, very similar with our music. We've made our music to the point. What you got to understand about music is very similar to a prayer, right? So the reason why a prayer works is an incantation, and it puts you into a set where it changes your mind, which, depending on what you believe scientifically or metaphysically, it allows you to speak to a different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But incantation, that's actually true. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why if you go to a college football game and it's a crazy atmosphere, that when you get to the stadium and you walk into the stadium, the hair stand up on the back of your neck, right? That's not exclusive to you. Everybody is feeling that. It's the reason why in a playoff environment, you walk into a game and then when you walk in there, the hair stand up, right? The energy is actually real. In our music, we're creating these energies that are actually real. We're being allowed to, right?
Yeah.
Now that deserves a question. That deserves a hypothesis on what is allowing us to be able to put ourselves into these death trances that our music is allowing us to put ourselves in. Because what's happening is with that energy, even if you're not speaking of death, you can welcome death. Right? It's like the ideal of Dracula, right? Like Dracula outside of your home, you're prey, right? But in your home, you have to invite Dracula in, right? Until you invite him in, he can't come in. He can come to your door, but he can't come into your home.
It reminded me of I think that was season 2. We was talking about that pastor who he was talking about suicide, and he was going in, and then a month later he ended up killing himself.
Yeah. So we can pretend the energies aren't real, but I just gave you 2 examples where I'm pretty sure if you went to a playoff game or if you went to a college football game,
Absolutely.
you felt that energy that I'm talking about. It is real. With our music, we are creating a real energy. And again, it's a reason why they shut their music down early in the 90s. They were just like, no, this heavy metal, emo, death shit, not going to happen. Look how hard they pushed against Marilyn Manson, which wasn't even really that type of rocker.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was like on the edge of it. You know, he more addressed the part, but that really wasn't his music. They shut it down. We're getting to a point in our community that I think we need to have a discussion on, do we need to shut down certain types of music, right? Because obviously the labels don't give a fuck.
Nah, if they can make $1, they make $1.
Radio station don't give a fuck.
If they can make $1, they make $1.
So that's going to fall on us as the men. The men have to create the change. Black men influence is the most valuable influence in this country.
What pissed me off is, hey, Loss, this is the difference between me and Mike. What pissed me off is Mike say some shit and it pissed me off, right? And I'll be fighting with him. And then every week y'all give Mike an example to prove his point, right? Mike comes to me, I don't know, bro, 2 months ago. Yeah. Mike goes, yo, this drill music is an issue. This music of people glorifying killing is an issue. This music of death this, death that is an issue. And I look at, bro, they showed a chart of the rappers that's died since COVID. And it was 20-something rappers, all of it to gun violence.
Yeah.
And it's like, we start COVID at Nipsey, who was minding his business, right? And then we end with Takeoff, who's known to some extent. I don't know the brother. But in every interview, Takeoff is the quietest.
Yeah, he's the quietest.
He doesn't bother anybody. You know what I'm saying? He tries to stay out the limelight. Come to find out, bro wasn't even in the dice game.
And look at the 2 individuals that we're talking about, right? Nipsey and Takeoff, right? We're talking about 2 positive of sorts, type of black men that, you know, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you know, on this pod, y'all know we actually talk about like settling down and getting your ass married as soon as possible and getting your butt out of these streets. Old boy was at home with his wife, wasn't he?
Who?
The other member.
Oh, I'll say, yeah, he probably with Cardi.
Yeah, he was, because they had the Halloween day, the trunk or treat,
and then Quavo was with Takeoff,
and he's not there. And it's like, yo, the ideal of family, like when you guys say, well, what's the benefits of marriage? Well, you don't get to see the benefits of none of the bad shit never happens to you. You got to understand that the benefit is keeping yourself out of a situation where shit can go south.
Well, and
because you could be innocent and literally be in the wrong place
at the wrong
time, man. And how much better would it have been to be at home getting spit up on?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, with a, you know, having to change the shittiest diaper that you've ever had to change. We have to get back to this ideal of understanding, like, yo, man, as black men, we're meant to be families. We're meant to have our own families. We're meant to settle down. Like, it was literally built for us. Garden of Eden stretch from the Horn of Africa, which is now called the Middle East, into Africa, right? Adam was born there. God gave him a woman, right? That's your role as a man, is to be the man that can provide husbandry in the garden, and then also make sure you have a woman that can help be your helpmeet in that situation.
And I say it like this, man, and I'm pretty sure Mike can agree. When you young, you want to be everywhere at all times of night, and you want to be on the scene. And I remember when I started hanging out with Ez, and I remember Ez came to me, and we was going out to a party, and he looked down at his watch, and he was like, all right, bro, it's 12:45, we got to go. And I was like, why? I'm like, bruh, you know they don't get in here. Yeah. And y'all know who they is. They don't get in here till like 11:30, 12. That's when you know you like messing with girls out of your league. When you try to get in there early and they like, no, we're not going to 12:30. Yeah. 1 o'clock. We only need to be there an hour to show that we was there. Right? And I just remember Ez was like, no, we're not doing that. And as I got older, you know, Ez didn't live in the he didn't live in Charlotte. But as I kept going out, 12:30 was my time to dip.
Yeah, you start seeing, 30 minutes before a club closed, you need to be out of that fucking club.
You need to be out the street.
Like you need to be like, you need to be home. In your car going home.
For the simple fact that some of y'all be drinking and you would dodge some police getting the hell up out of there. You don't need to be driving anyway. Yeah. But you would dodge a lot getting out of somewhere 30 minutes early. And so now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, dog, man, Takeoff at an event. If he's 40, I don't think Takeoff is there.
No. He's probably not there. But it's like, for one, we do have to make it to 40. You have to be blessed enough to make it. And a lot of these are strategies, right? Like the idea of Ez leaving is like, we lived in environments that, you did not want to be there when the club is closed because it's almost guaranteed that a fight is going to break out. And if a fight is break out, somebody is shooting. And 9 times out of 10, an innocent bystander is shot, right? And it's Absolutely. Like, I don't want to be an innocent fucking bystander. I'm going to go ahead and break out of here about 45 minutes early. They close at 2. Yeah, 12:45. Let's start closing this tab. 1:15. We're in our car. Let's get out of here so we don't have to deal with this. All right. These are survival strategies, though, right? Like these aren't, this isn't living. Yeah. This is literally survival. And as blacks, we are so damn close to becoming a permanent underclass in this country. Like, seriously. And we need to take this shit serious, man. Like, if we don't decide to take family serious, if we don't decide that raising our children is serious, if we don't decide that, like, we need to open our own businesses seriously, we are about to be a permanent underclass in this country. When you read just the stats, right? They don't know black people because black people only 12.4% of the population or 14.5%. Depends on whether or not they include Afro-Hispanics in Hispanics or if they include them in like black. So that's your population difference there.
I say my comment.
But when they look at these studies at a high level, dude, the numbers are bad. Right? Oh yeah, because they're not looking at how great black men are as dads, right?
Nah, we can't find no results.
Yeah, they're not looking at that. They're looking at these stats and they're looking at everything that is piss poor. They're looking at your marriage rates. They're looking at your literacy rates. They're looking at your abortion rates. They're looking at your infant mortality rates. And this is what you got to understand. A lot of these things roll into one another, right? Mm-hmm. If nurses and doctors are sick of the underclass always in their hospitals having babies, then when you come in there, guess what they see? They don't know that you a college graduate. Yeah. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to treat you the same way that they treat the already permanent underclass. As a community, we're going to have to hold ourselves to a standard and elevate ourselves to the point whereas we can be seen for what we actually are, which is every category we lead.
Yeah. Well, let's go to this end part. Let me play a little bit of this for you, and you let me know what's your thoughts on this.
But we do have black people that get on the radio every day in white-owned companies, white-owned stations with white-owned sponsors that play the role of hypersexualized, hypercriminalized male. I ask these advertisers, I say, I've got hundreds of songs a day that celebrate killing animals. Will you put them on your station? They said, no. I got hundreds of songs a day that talk about assaulting women and abusing kids. Would you put them on your station? They said, no. I said, I got hundreds of songs a day that talk about murdering blacks. Would you put them on your stations? They said, well, that depends. Depends on what? Who it's done by and who it's branded for. Because if we can get black folks to sing about it, and we can brand it for our youngest black audiences, I think there's money to be made. I think there's American appetites to see these people that way. I said, how can you say that? They said, well, look, it's what these artists know. It's what they, black people, create. It's, matter of fact, our surveys say it's what they want to hear, which speaks of a sickness. How do we live in a society where somebody says, you know what, I'm inspired to write a song that celebrates murdering another person. And then a person says, I'd like to put that on my station. Another person said, I'd like to pay for it. And then there's people out here in the audience that go, I'd love to hear it, as long as it's black guys. Because even white people buy rap music, buy this type of stuff, because we know that when we want to hear about killing each other, we know who to turn to for that type of inspiration.
So what's your idea on that?
Well, I mean, when you get to watch black people kill each other, it's real life Grand Theft Auto, right? Like Grand Theft Auto, I think is that the highest selling game ever of all time?
Yeah.
If not, it's probably top 3, right?
Yeah. When it came out, Grand Theft Auto 5, yeah.
Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto, right, which is a video game, it's not real. You could do the same things you do in Grand Theft Auto, you could pretty much do in any other game, right? Like what makes it popular, right? It is the debauchery. It is the violence that makes it popular. Black people are living this real life Grand Theft Auto type life. Somebody's going to have to do that. You've let society determine that for that to be you. So as blacks, again, we have to start eschewing a lot of these behaviors. And a lot of our problems that we have in our community is the fact that children are not being raised with their fathers. Right? Like a lot of this gun violence right here is because these kids can't fight. Right?
Facts.
Like if you're the baddest man out there, if you're a quote unquote killer, because you know you got quote unquote bodies, and if you got in a fist fight and a dude just mopped the floor with you, then how you gonna feel after that, right?
Yeah.
And notice what I said. How you gonna feel, right? Because that's what you're reacting off of. You're reacting off of your emotions. When you have a father, your father's gonna tell you it's gonna be plenty of days where you're gonna feel like I don't want to do it. And guess what your ass gonna have to do?
Do it.
You have to do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like as a father, that is a constant reinforcement that letting you know that, hey, you're gonna have to suppress your feelings and do what needs to be done. Not having men in the home, right? I think sometimes what we do as men, because it seems easy, we think that is unnecessary, right? Like you think of like think of like the windshield wipers on the car, right? Okay, they don't really do shit, right? Except when it's raining. Except when it's raining. Like any other time, they don't really do shit.
Try driving with them without them during the rain.
But there you go, right? You can't drive. So I think sometimes, like as fathers, right? Like I've heard mothers constantly complain about, you know, well, they only respect you because you're the man, right? You know what I'm saying? Because a father, man can walk in the house and be like, yo, cut that shit down, right? And then all the kids, you know, do that. But mom can do that 20 times in a row and no one listens, right? And like what moms don't understand is that, you know, as you know, when we have the little baby, right? And the little baby is crying and we're holding the little baby. You know, there's times where the father's like, y'all mothers don't see this, by the way. There's times where the father be like, hey, cut that out. Yeah. Cut it out, right? Yeah. Now the mothers don't see this, right? But this is something that men kind of telling on us. This is something that we do with little babies.
Absolutely.
Because what we're doing is letting them know that like, hey, you know,
gotta relax.
You gotta relax. You know that you gotta cut it out, right? And then when they get older, right? So that it goes in levels. So when a kid is 11, and when I say, hey, cut that out, I'm not saying that for the first time. I am reinforcing something that I've reinforced from the time the kid was 1 for 9 years in a row.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes time for me to use that, it works because it's something that I've worked on. Men are the parachutes in the community, right? We're the thing that makes it better. If we don't, as a community, right, our women have to look and see there's a value in having a man in the home, right? Like I'm raising boys and these boys are just way too emotional. Now, if you want to defend your emotion, right? If you want to say, well, no, that's fine. You can share your emotions. Boys can cry and all that. If that's where you want to live in that space, then you're not going to ever see the value of a man, right? But if you can look and see and be like, yo, no, having a man there helps, right?
Absolutely. Well, my problem is this guy wasn't really giving an opinion. He was kind of giving out research that he's done. Yeah. So I want to be clear on that. We have been saying on here for weeks, episodes, a whole season. This whole season has been dedicated to who benefits off of black male trauma. Yeah. I don't think Universal, Sony, I don't even know who else is out there. It's really like two.
Yeah, really just two left, I think. Maybe three left.
Maybe three, and they own everybody else, right? I'm gonna give y'all a great example. Kanye makes his statements. People go to Spotify and say, are you going to pull his music? Spotify goes, we can't pull his music, but his record label can.
Yeah.
The record label has not. There's a reason why these record label hasn't, and it's because of money.
Yes.
And so I say that to say, will a record label say, hey, we're going to pull drill music off because whether it's right or wrong, we believe it encourages violence? No. There's music where people are talking about, and some, fellas, I will say this, listen to what your kids listen to. Be mindful of what your kids are watching. And that's up to you to determine, right? I remember the age when my dad said, all right, now you can play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
There was a long time when I was hiding Grand Theft Auto in my house. Let me tell y'all that. And it bothered my parents that I was playing a video game that encouraged killing police officers.
Yep.
Right? So I say that to say, yo, who's benefiting from this? So this guy telling me that, hey, no, there is people out there that say, yo, we know we could sell black violence. It's because somebody's benefiting. People are being sold. I laugh about this every day, and I make sure I let women know this. The CDC said that black fathers are the most involved fathers, and y'all act like you couldn't read.
Folks,
they
never saw that. They Stevie Wondered the hell out of that.
Absolutely, because somebody is benefiting from black women saying, hey, we are the face of deadbeats.
Well, so this is the thing about like consumerism, right? So it's two ways to get rich in consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the largest demographic of consumers support you, which is white women, right? So if like white women buy your shit, this is like where you see things that take off and then like flutter out, like chia pet and the leg thing,
QVC, anything that's on QVC,
right? Because they're the largest demo. So you can get rich that way. The second way to get rich in this country is black male influence. So the two quickest ways, right? I'm not saying these are the only ways. But black male influence, because black males, despite representing a small demographic of this country, typically are visible in the industry that they're in because of the way that they excel in the industry, right? Think of the two biggest action stars in Hollywood right now for action movies, right? It's Will Smith and Tom Cruise.
Absolutely.
Is there anybody else bigger than Will Smith and Tom Cruise when it comes to action movies?
Nah. I mean, your next going to be The Rock.
Yeah. But maybe, but he's still not even there yet, right?
Yeah.
Rock, Jason Momoa, Jason Statham.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about action movies, it's Will Smith and it is Tom Cruise, right?
Absolutely.
All right. One of these dudes from the ghetto in Philly, and one of these dudes had the Scientology behind them. Right?
Absolutely.
So again, that's the influence that you have in a culture, right? Like basketball shoes or sneaker companies are a big deal today. They were not in the 80s. They couldn't even sell shoes, to be honest.
They couldn't.
They literally couldn't sell shoes.
Nike was begging you.
The NBA was about to go defunct, which is why they brought the ABA into the NBA at the time, right? Because the ABA was more hood hooping. If we're going to use the term, that's not what the term they used in the 60s. But if we was to use a lighter term, it was hood hooping, right? So they brought hood hooping into the NBA. The league became melanated. Shoe companies got behind the stars, and then so much culture came from that, right? Whether we're talking about Jordans, whether we're talking about the fact that lids actually exist, right? With the snapbacks, and we're talking about the fact that Starter was selling Charlotte Hornets jackets for some freaking reason, all around the world, right?
Absolutely, it's
a reason why when Russia wanted to disinform everybody in the 2016 election, the demographic that they targeted most were black males. Like out of everybody that they could have targeted in the United States, they were like, yo, because if we make them apathetic, then that rolls downhill. So until we kind of get and understand like that, the reason why rap music became the #1 music is because you wield so much influence as African-American males. Like no one is really going to tell you this. You got to kind of come to the Black Dads podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, and like research and kind of follow the people that we follow. And what you understand is, okay, I might not be the steak, but the steak is nothing without the salt. And that you as the influence control a lot of the narrative. We as a collective, we as black men have to collectively pull back from our music being so violent. Rap music is still fun without the trapping and without the drilling.
Kendrick Lamar I was right. Thank you.
You know what, man? You know what? I might give you Kendra, man. I'm in a giving mood today. I was wrong about a lot of shit, man. I'm kind of sad with my community today.
Look, right. Well, hold on. I got one more video before we get out of here to make you sadder.
Damn.
One more. Hold on.
I say that, it's a joke. Do you know why? Because marriage is a joke. And when I say that, it's a joke. Do you know why? Because marriage is a TV show. Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiance, Married at First Sight. Marriage has become entertainment. It's not. There's no sanctity in it anymore. So when the same women that are sitting down to watch Married at First Sight and Love is Blind and 90 Day Fiance, the same women saying, "Oh yeah, I want to get married." You're literally watching marriage as a TV show. It's not. There's no sanctity to it anymore. And so people can literally say, "Okay, I got 90 days to get a visa to marry this woman." That's not marriage.
Yeah, but all right. And before we get there, I laugh at that video because I was on Facebook and this young lady had wrote, people in general are not, but not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody wants to go to college or can go to college. A dude responded, true, but we all should strive for the best possible income. They're actually talking about kids, right?
Yeah.
She said, nah, I'd rather have my kids. My kids are awesome. College is highway robbery. Marriage is a trap. So, of course, I scroll in, I have fun. I said, yo, you sound toxic as hell. Yes. Imagine creating a life and promoting literally no communication in broken homes. Yikes. This is the last thing I read to y'all. She said, imagine being with someone just because y'all have kids together. And hold on.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that. She said, because y'all got kids together, both of y'all are unhappy. People are so emotionally, physically, and socially abused. Imagine someone being so controlling that they take your life just because y'all are married. They feel like you're their property just because you're married. I'm not going to stop anything. They can still abuse you just like if y'all wasn't married. It's just easier to leave if you're not married. They will still cheat on you. They could still do all the things. Y'all get where she going.
And what's crazy is not only does she think she's right, but every motherfucker that agrees with her thinks that they're right. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is you're wrong. All right. Absolutely. But before we jump into that, let's talk about what our boy talked about, right?
I wanted to piss Mike off.
This is the thing. I know you do this shit. I was down for a second. He done re-energized me,
and I waited to the end when I know we gotta get out of here.
All right, he's right. We treat marriage like it's a game, and we got to be clear about this thing. All right, you do not want a woman that wants to be married. You have to want a woman that wants to be a wife.
Facts.
She got to hit the arc. She got to adore you. She got to respect you. She got to celebrate you. If any woman say that she's not going to adore you, respect you, and celebrate you, bro, run. Just leave her alone. Just leave her alone for real. Because this is the thing. That's the role of a wife. That is the role of a wife, gentlemen. You want to date a woman? Triple C. Compassionate, considerate, cooperative. That's what a woman needs to be. Stop asking for submission because it's a trigger word.
Facts.
But let's go into what old girl was saying in the comments.
And y'all broke.
She just wants kids. I'm just gonna have kids, raise broken home, despite the fact that all evidence show that the majority of the bullshit that happens comes from kids in mother-led homes. I'm gonna stop saying fatherless. Mother-led homes and broken homes where obviously where these dudes are just saying fuck the kid.
Yeah.
Did not know y'all was. I didn't know y'all was as loud as y'all are right now.
Bruh, two things before I get to her. Going back to Dude's video, just to let y'all know these shows target black women or women of color. Let me show y'all how I noticed. When I encourage everybody to go look up why 16 and Pregnant got taken off of MTV. A group of white mothers got together and said, hey, we're encouraging teen pregnancies. We seeing that our teenagers are becoming pregnant super early. And they got that shit off TV.
Yep, but not our shit though. Not anything that diminishes the fuck. We create a whole goddamn set of television. Absolutely. For debauchery.
If you got a Samsung TV, they got free channels, and I promise y'all, there's 2 channels dedicated to Love and Hip Hop. Literally, Samsung has 2 channels dedicated. Mona Scott Young is racked in on y'all.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, it has become a joke. It has become, this is quick. It has become a fairy tale. And that's social media in general, you know what I'm saying? Which is so sad. Going to this young lady, I laugh at, I was scrolling through, I saw her comments, and it was directly it comes on the heels of us talking about toxic relationships. And I see that, and I was telling this young lady that, We got to get out of allowing the 20% to represent the 80.
We do, but the thing is, the music and the television shows that gets to the forefront, right, is this ratchet shit. And, it's because I think sometimes even we look at it and be like, well, I'll watch, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch Love and Hip Hop and it's like, bro, to your point, right? The moms were like, yo, we got to stop the 16 and pregnant shit, right? Because it's negatively affecting our community. Because we just talked about what they did with the heavy metal music during the 90s, right? They get this shit out of their fucking community ASAP.
Facts.
We turn it into industry or whatever.
Entertainment.
And it's like, yo, no, like, we got to cut that shit out, man. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it.
It is. It's exhausting, man. And it's one of those things of, Joe Budden said something 2 years ago. And his co-host was on his ass. He said, yo, nobody wants to tell y'all, but the hardest job in the world right now is to be a rapper. And he said, it's the only job where you have to live up to a standard. People assume you have certain things, and they want to kill you for it. And his co-host laughed. They was like, whatever. He's changed co-hosts. Every time a rapper dies, they come on and they apologize to him.
Yeah.
Because he said, yo, he goes, the sad part is, it doesn't stop today. He said there's going to be another rapper. I say that to say a new rapper just signed to Gucci. And after Takeoff died, he's from Atlanta, the new rapper. I forgot his name. He says, yo, I can't go to Houston. Gucci drops him and said, yo, you ain't willing to go to the streets. Like that. But I mean, and it's like, yo, like, it's like that's the mindset. And here's the thing. We're not from the streets, man. We're from the royal houses. From the motherland, from the continent of Africa. We're not from the streets, bro. We were a people that took our foot off of the gas, was nice to the world, and the rest of the world went past us, and then they enslaved us. All right? That's what happened. And now we have those individuals who are the descendants. African Americans are the descendants. And Africans around the world look up to African Americans. Don't listen to these arguments that you see between the FBAs and the immigrants here in the United States. The rest of the world looks to African Americans and be like, yo, what are we going to do? And at some point, we as a community have to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Me and my homegirl was talking this morning, and like we were talking about Stacey Abrams and how she's probably not going to win Atlanta, and the ideal of, like, hey, whose fault is it? And I was like, look, until you include men from the beginning, it's not going to happen, right? Like, the reason why Nikes exist is because of the NBA. The reason why the NBA exists is because of the ABA. The reason why the ABA exists is because Texas Southern beat Kentucky, right? Like, all these things are interconnected. But when you look at, like, the way that the world pushes forward, it's normally being pushed forward by the best of us. And at some point, Ice Cube, Kanye, Diddy got to stop speaking up for our community, right? Where is our Patrice? Where is our Sankour? Where is our Selassie? Where is our Nelson? Where is our Martin? Where is our Malcolm? At some point, we have to emerge. And because we can't have individuals speaking up for us or leading us that shouldn't be leading us, right? You got Kyrie.
No more entertainers. No more entertainers, man, to lead in the shit that we have to lead in. We don't need entertainers. Entertainers are good at entertaining.
Sometimes even at that.
Yeah, like we have to get back to the point to where as we push forward our kings, our queens, our bishops. Like we got to push forward everybody, and like let the pawns be pawns.
Facts. Before we get out of here, Mike wants to play a video.
Which one are we playing? Oh, is this the one we're going to talk about next week?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is good.
Eating the box foreplay?
Yeah.
Do
I'll
that.
never come. So
You don't ever come when I eat?
I think I have before.
Hey, if you got through all the serious shit, you
Once?
like this.
Twice.
So you're a liar then.
She said twice.
Why you say I'm a liar?
Because you act like you've come a lot of times.
Did I say I'm
coming?
I said that?
Yes.
Or my body shook a little bit?
Both.
If my body just shook, then I think I was just ready for dick. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm done.
Dude,
Get up.
really.
It's better than saying, all right, get up.
I don't want you to fake anything.
No, it's not faking. It's just transitions.
Yeah.
A shake is a transition to dick. Instead of me using words, I'm using my body to tell you
Get up.
it's time to go somewhere else.
That's some bullshit.
That's not what that says.
No.
Don't you move somewhere else? You didn't find out until just now on this mic.
Damn.
That sometimes it's just a transition.
Eating the box.
See, that's fucked up.
That is definitely fucked up. But you know what though? You know, I always bail my black man out, but you know I always blame y'all for everything too.
Absolutely.
Hey, bro, you should know like way before y'all got on the microphone whether or not your woman is actually coming from head or not.
Yeah.
you really should have knew that like way in advance, man.
Absolutely. That should not have been your first time. She shouldn't even felt comfortable saying.
She should definitely not feel comfortable saying that, but it's a reason why women date the type of men that they can say these type of things about.
And embarrass
them because it's a certain type of woman and a certain type of man. We talked about this, y'all. Check out last season. We talked about different sex,
and I ain't even mad at her
archetype. But you know, I think it's about time for another sex podcast.
Oh gosh, here we go.
So, gentlemen, you know, if you are, you know, eating the box, ask your woman what she likes while you eating the box, man, or even if she likes it.
Absolutely.
But chances are, if she don't like it, it's because you're bad at it. So
facts.
Like, find out, like, ask her, man. Like, you have to ask women like what they enjoy, and ask a woman what makes her come.
Yeah, I don't know. This is supposed to be a cliffhanger the next week, but the thing is men, we got to get out of this macho shit of thinking that, I got everything, I can figure this shit out. And bruh, this shit is not universal, right? Everything that you used before does not work today.
Every woman is different in the bedroom. So
you do need to ask.
Yeah, you
and
definitely need to ask.
Who likes to waste time?
And look, it's not even macho. It's macho.
It's pride.
Man, you gotta get out your pride, bro.
Facts.
Because if you want to get shit done, because I'm telling you, your pride be way better when she's begging you to do things to her, bro.
Facts.
She is begging, like, bro, y'all, come on, fellas.
Come on, fellas.
Fellas.
Before we get out of here, I want to say happy anniversary to my wife. We celebrating 4 years today.
Congrats.
Congrats. We supposed to be going out to eat. She did promise she was gonna pay for dinner tonight.
She gonna pay?
That. No, I mean,
no, she ain't
probably.
Gonna pay.
But she didn't take me out for Take a Man Out month, like none of the ladies that's listening did today, man. But hey, I'm here to see it. Yo,
hey, you should offer to pay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like offer to pay, but yeah, let her pay.
Man,
isn't that what they do to us? Women be like, I offer to pay.
I'm reaching. For
if a date is going bad, fellas, and a woman offer to pay, get your money.
Absolutely. Or pay for it and call your credit card company and say it was fraud. Don't do that. That's illegal.
Just let her pay. Let her pay. Because she's never going to talk to you again already if the date's bad. So you might as well go on and put an exclamation point behind it by making her pay for the meal.
Absolutely. Then you can guarantee that you're blocked after that.
You're gonna be blocked regardless.
Facts.
Y'all can't even give good head out here. How y'all doing this?
And with that, I'm gonna holler at y'all next week.
Holler at your boy.